Never in my life have I faced something more terrifying than this. Not combat training. Not zero-G drills. Not even that one time my crewmate accidentally hit the airlock release but mid-docking. My heart has never pounded this fast. I thought I was prepared for this exchange assignment. Jake confidently signing up for the exchange program, shaking hands with alien diplomats, imagining himself as a heroic ambassador for humanity. I thought I could handle anything. I expected the food to be bad. Freeze-dried, soy-based, sure. I was ready for that. But this is something else. No edible meat. No open flames allowed. And apparently, carnivore means raw, unidentifiable alien flesh. No spices. No heat. Nothing. Jake picks up a fork and pokes at the meat, which jiggles ominously. His stomach churns audibly. Jake, dear God, what even is a thrum? My intrusive thoughts immediately made it worse. Alien, is something the matter, human Jake? I froze. They looked like an owl. If owls had claws from Jurassic Park and wore blue cloaks. I had no idea who they were, but something told me they were important. Jacob? No, sir, yes. It's the menu. It's a little sparse. The alien tilts their head, emitting an uncanny owl screech. Jake flinches. The room goes dead silent. Turns out some things are universal. Like the silence that follows when you complain in front of your boss. Alien, please clarify. Humans are omnivorous, yes. And there it was. The real problem. Some genius back on Earth probably told the Galactic Union, oh, humans eat everything, without elaborating that we prefer our everything cooked, seasoned, and not sulfur-smelling. Monta. Jake struggles to explain human dietary needs, awkwardly waving his hands around while the alien listens, unblinking. He finally decides to ask for advice. Jake, do you have a recommendation? The alien phloem mites are a common choice. They are reminiscent of eggs. The thrum is nutritionally complete but acquired in taste. Herbivores favor the vine leaf for its sweetness. Sweet, they said. Sweet like lettuce, I thought. Sweet like salvation. I was so wrong. It tasted exactly how you'd expect a leaf to taste. Bitter, mushy, and chewy, like a mouthful of despair. Jake slumps in his chair, glaring at the plate. He pulls out a small emergency ration bar and devours it like it's his last meal. Emergency rations. Supposed to be for, emergencies. But if this doesn't count, I don't know what does. I might survive this assignment if I ration carefully. And maybe if I can teach these aliens about fire and seasoning. After all, humanity didn't conquer space to eat soggy leaves. Humanity, pioneers of fire, flavor, and making the galaxy a tastier place. This is it. I'm really going to die here. Not from a space battle, not from some freak cosmic storm, but from starvation on a spaceship full of aliens who don't get why their food is literally making me consider eating the walls. Jake. Okay, this definitely isn't lettuce. This is the kind of leaf you find in the bottom of a compost bin. The ones that never turn into mulch because they're too stubborn to rot. He chews for a few more seconds before swallowing with great effort, his face twisting in disgust. If I make it through this, I'm going to start a petition for human-friendly food in space. Or at least, a guide to how not to make someone wish they were never born with their food. Human, I see you're struggling. We are more accustomed to this cuisine, The soldier's eyes narrow as he leans in closer. Jake instinctively pulls his plate of vine leaves closer to his chest, as if protecting it from the soldier's hungry gaze. Jake. Yeah, it's an acquired taste, right? The alien soldier leans even closer, inhaling deeply as if trying to catch a whiff of Jake's food. Alien soldier. It smells terrible. We eat phloem mites. Much better. He suddenly slams his large hand down onto Jake's table, making everything rattle. Jake jumps in his seat, knocking over his cup of unidentifiable liquid. Okay, yeah, this is a definite culture shock. I knew space would be different, but I thought I'd at least get some kind of decent meal. Maybe a steak, a salad, a freaking sandwich. But no, phloem mites and thrum meat. I'm about 5 seconds from asking if they have any decent bread. Finally, a glimmer of hope. These supplies have to be better than whatever I've been trying to survive on. Who knows? Maybe they actually have some kind of fruit. He opens the compartment and is greeted by rows upon rows of vacuum-sealed bags. He pulls one out and reads the label. Processed protein paste. Rations for extreme situations. Jake. Extreme situations. Yeah, this qualifies. He opens the packet and stares at the glistening, gel-like substance. It looks like a cross between pudding and raw meat. He hesitates for a moment, then picks up the spoon, poking the paste as if it might somehow come to life and attack him. Jake. If this is what passes for food in space, then I'll gladly take a lifetime supply of freeze-dried soy-based garbage. Jake returns to the cafeteria, now holding the processed protein paste in one hand and a cup of the alien drink in the other. He finds his seat and starts stirring the paste with a spoon, trying to make it look less revolting. Well, at least I don't have to eat raw meat this time. But seriously, what is wrong with these people? Am I really supposed to just suck it up and call this a meal? As Jake takes a tentative bite of the protein paste, his face scrunches up in disgust. He struggles to swallow, almost gagging. Okay, never again. I'm officially done with this food. Alien. So, how was your vine leaf? Jake. Like chewing on a soggy paper towel that's been sitting in someone's trash bin for 3 days. The alien chuckles, a sound that's surprisingly musical, like a bird's trill. Jake stares at her, trying to gather his thoughts before speaking again. Jake. So, what do you eat? I mean, the thrum? What's it like? The alien pauses for a moment, considering his question carefully. She looks at her plate of fleur mites and shrugs. Alien. It's a better than your food. But it's an acquired taste. You might like it. Jake. Yeah, maybe. But right now, I think I'm about to acquire a taste for anything that's not raw, uncooked, or alive. At this point, I trade my left arm for a cheeseburger. Or hell, even a bowl of cereal. Just something that doesn't make me question if I'm actually hallucinating from the lack of decent nutrition. Alien. Would you like to trade? This is from my homeworld. Jake. Yes. Yes, I would. The alien chuckles, clearly amused by the desperate look in Jake's eyes. They sit together, sharing food that, at least, doesn't make Jake's stomach twist in rebellion. Maybe, just maybe, this whole intergalactic exchange thing isn't so bad after all. As long as I never, ever have to eat a vine leaf again. If there's one thing I've learned so far, it's that space is a lot more terrifying than I ever thought. And it's not the black void of nothingness that gets you. No, it's the food. It's the eating. Jake's face is still pale as he sits at the cafeteria, now with a tray of what appears to be a glowing, slimy, gelatinous substance. His eyes narrow at it like it's an alien parasite. If I had to pick between an asteroid storm and this, I think I'd take my chances with the asteroids. Suddenly, an alien crew member, a tall being with translucent skin and glowing blue veins, slides into the seat across from Jake. The alien looks at Jake's tray, then at Jake with what seems like curiosity. Alien crew member. You seem unsettled, human. It's just food. My people would consider it a delicacy. Jake's hand twitches. He forces a smile, trying not to show how completely horrified he is. Jake. Oh, yeah, sure. Delicacy. Just not my thing, I guess. I'm more of a burger guy. The alien tilts their head, clearly confused. Alien crew member. What is a burger? Jake. A miracle. A blessing from the heavens above. Trust me, it's food the way humans do it. A patty, some lettuce, tomato, maybe cheese. Normal. The alien looks at Jake as if he just described the most absurd concept in the universe. After a beat, the alien shrugs and slides the glowing gelatinous substance toward Jake. Alien crew member. Perhaps you would like to try one of my people's delicacies instead. Jake recoils just slightly, but tries to mask his panic. The alien places a small blob of the gelatinous mass on Jake's plate, clearly proud of the dish. Jake. Oh, I'd really love to. But I've, got this. He gestures to the glowing, pulsating mass, which looks like something that could probably live on its own if given the chance. His stomach churns again. Jake's. If there's one thing worse than the food, it's the feelings of guilt. Everyone keeps offering me their food. They're all so proud of it. The captain, who I now know has better taste in food than I ever could, gave me that vine leaf advice like it was gourmet cuisine. But I know what's happening here. I'm not just stuck in space. I'm stuck in a culinary nightmare. Jake passes by a few crew members who are happily munching on their meals while he clutches his stomach. He's starting to realize he's not getting out of this unscathed. Jake, hey, what's that you're eating? The squirrel-like alien looks up, surprised at the human's interest, and then smiles with a wide, toothy grin. Squirrel alien. Oh, these? They're Velcros. They're sweet and crunchy, delicious. You should try some. Jake, sweet, crunchy? That's what I'm talking about. Can I have some? The alien holds out a handful of Velcros. Jake hesitates for a moment, eyeing them suspiciously, but the desperation in his gut outweighs any caution. He grabs one and bites into it. Instantly, his face falls. Jake, oh God, what is this? It's like biting into a rock that has been marinated in sweat. The squirrel alien looks confused, but doesn't seem offended. Squirrel alien. Rock? Oh no, these are delicious. You must just not be used to the taste yet, Jake. I don't think it's the taste. I think it's the texture. Or maybe the lack of flavor. It tastes like, well, nothing. Squirrel alien. Oh, you'll get used to it. We all do. Just keep trying. Jakes, I've had enough. Screw it. I'm going full survivalist. I'll just eat everything in the emergency rations and pray I don't get a gut infection. The aliens don't seem to be getting sick from their food, but maybe their stomachs are literally designed to handle this stuff. He opens the emergency ration pack and begins eating the hard, protein-dense bars, one after another, until he's halfway through them. Sita, you seem to be settling in well, human Jake. How are you adjusting to the food? Jake, settling in? You're telling me I'm adjusting. I can't even pronounce half the stuff I'm supposed to eat. I'm barely keeping down anything that isn't just plain weird. Sita laughs gently, taking a seat beside him. She passes him a small dish with a delicate fruit. Sita, you might not think so now, but eventually your body will adapt. The food, the environment, it'll all become part of your new life. Give it time. Jake stares at the fruit, eyeing it suspiciously. Jake, so this is the next test, huh? How human will you become on alien food? Sita chuckles again, but there's a warmth to her voice. Sita, something like that. Jake, okay, this is actually not bad. He takes another bite, savoring the strange, but actually somewhat pleasant taste. Maybe, just maybe, I can survive here. Maybe this alien food thing won't kill me after all. But next time I sign up for an exchange program, I'm checking the menu first. Jakes, well, folks, turns out there's only so many ways you cannot get sick of weird alien food before you start thinking about your survival strategies. I'm starting to wonder if I should take up space yoga or something. Anything to avoid looking like a complete rookie. Jake stands in front of the food dispensary again, staring blankly at the choices. Herbivore, carnivore, and a new, seemingly mysterious option labeled Braxel. Braxel? What in the galaxy is a Braxel? Sounds like a drink from a discount space bar. He presses the button for Braxel, hoping it's something that won't be as terrifying as the rest. The machine whirs, and a semi-translucent orb drops into his tray. It glows faintly. I don't even know what this is, but if I don't try it, I'm going to die of mystery food anxiety. Jake, so, you ever had Braxel? Zorath looks at him, confused. Zorath, Braxel? Oh, that's a rare treat. It's a fleshy orb from the planet Braxel 4. Chewy. Jake, chewy? Yeah, that's comforting. Zorath shrugs and continues eating his strange cactus slug dish, utterly unbothered by the weird textures. Meanwhile, Jake takes a deep breath and taps the Braxel orb with his spork, which emits a strange squishy sound. He recoils for a moment. Jake, here goes nothing. He takes a cautious bite. His face contorts in pure shock. What the hell is this? It's like chewing on a wet sponge that has been dipped in. No, that's not even it. It's like eating a glob of disappointment. He forces himself to swallow. His gag reflex betrays him for a second as he shudders. Jake, all right, just breathe. You've survived worse. Probably. Maybe. Probably not. Oh God, what if I just ate something that's going to kill me? Sita, you seem a bit off, Jake. How is your adjustment going? Jake, oh, peachy. Just peachy. If peaches were squishy, flavorless, and had no discernible resemblance to actual food. Sita raises an eyebrow, clearly amused. Sita, Perhaps I should introduce you to a more refined menu option. Something less distracting. She gestures toward a nearby table where an odd plant-like dish sits, large leaves wrapped around a dark purple fruit. Jake's stomach clenches as he reluctantly approaches it. Jake. All right, Jake. You've done worse. Remember the first time you had wasabi? You didn't die from that. You didn't even cry. This? This is probably fine. He picks up the fruit cautiously and takes a small bite. To his surprise, it's actually not terrible. It's tangy with a sweet aftertaste, though it's so acidic it almost burns the back of his throat. But compared to the other stuff, this feels like a win. Jake. Okay. This is kinda good. What is this? Sita. That, my friend, is a trilum. It's a rare fruit from our homeworld, meant to cleanse the palate after a heavy meal. You must be adjusting if you can handle the acidity. Jake takes another bite, savoring the odd fruit, though it still feels like a foreign alien experience. Jake. Not bad. You know, I could get used to this, if I didn't have to eat the weird-ass stuff first. Sita. That's the spirit. You're learning, Jake. Slowly, but surely you're adapting. Jake's. Maybe, just maybe, if I can't get them to understand what I want to eat, I can at least improvise. Cut to Jake later, in the ship's small makeshift kitchen, attempting to cook his emergency rations in the most human way he knows, throwing them into a pan and hoping for the best. Jake. If I just use the right spices, I can make this taste like home. I can make it taste like a burger. Hell, I can make it taste like my mom's meatloaf. The pan hisses and smokes, and Jake's hand hover over the cooking meal, like he's handling rare materials. Jake. Okay. So this is what failure tastes like. No defeat. I taste defeat. He quickly swallows and then looks down at the pan with a disappointed sigh. Jake's. You can't win them all, I guess. But at least I'm not starving. Not yet. But next time I'm on a space exchange program, I'm absolutely checking the food situation first. Jake's. All right, Jake. You can do this. You can survive anything. This is just another training exercise, right? Only this time it's not the drills, it's weird alien food making you wish you brought more emergency rations. Note to self, next time don't skimp on the freeze-dried snacks. He straightens up as the sound of approaching footsteps echoes down the hallway. A figure rounds the corner, Sita the captain. She's holding a small tray of food, seemingly unbothered by the alien delicacies. Hey, Sita. How's it going? Sita looks at him and raises an eyebrow, her expression bemused. Sita. How's the food situation treating you, Jake? Still trying to figure out what's edible. Jake lets out a short, humorless laugh, rubbing the back of his neck. Jake. I'm not sure. I mean, I've got a new appreciation for Earth food, that's for sure. If I could get my hands on a burger right now, I think I'd cry. Sita. Well, a burger's out of the question, but I have something for you that might be a little easier on your human palate. She hands him the tray. This time, it's not the weird, slimy plant or raw meats, but something that looks somewhat familiar. Small round cakes. Jake. What is it? Is it gonna taste like regret again? Sita. No. These are Katrin cakes. They're a little sweeter and lighter than most meals here. I thought you might appreciate something less complicated. Jake. They look like donuts? Sita. Something like that. They're a common snack on the ship. Our crew finds them comforting when they're homesick. Jake. Well, that's not so bad. Actually, not bad at all. It's got a nice, sweet aftertaste. Sita. Good, I'm glad you like them. You'd be surprised how many people here miss the simpler comforts, especially on long journeys. Jake's. Maybe it's not all bad. This ship might be weird, and yeah, the food's a disaster, but the people, well, they're not what I expected. They're nice. I think I can make it work. Jake stands up, ready to head back to his quarters, when he sees Zorth, the six-armed alien, approach with his usual plate of weird food. Zorth. Jake, you survived the Braxel and the Trilum. I'm impressed. You're adapting faster than I thought. Jake. I'm not sure if surviving is the right word, but yeah, I'm still alive, so progress. Zorth. It's good. Not everyone survives. Some new species just never get used to our food. It's a tough adjustment. But you've got guts, human. Jake. Well, I've always been good at pretending like I know what I'm doing. They both laugh. It's a brief, light-hearted moment, but it's enough for Jake to feel a bit more at ease with his new situation. Jakes, I guess I've learned something tonight. These aliens are just as messed up as me. They're just doing the best they can with what they've got, just like I am. He puts the manual down and stares out of the small window. The stars twinkle outside. It's beautiful, but the reality of his situation comes crashing back in. Okay, Jake, you're in space now. It's not going to be easy, but you're not alone. You just have to adapt. You'll figure it out. The lights in his room flicker for a moment, and a soft chime sounds from the door. It's Zorith again, looking a little more serious now. Zorith, Jake, I've been thinking about your food situation. You said you miss Earth food, right, Jake? Yeah, I could kill for a pizza or a burger right now. Zorith, well, I might have an idea. Some of the crew have special replicators. They can create Earth food with a few modifications. You could have a proper meal from home, if you're willing to work with us. Jake's eyes widen with hope. Jake, you can do that. You're telling me you can actually make a real meal. Zorith, it's not exactly a pizza, but it'll do. Maybe we can even try making it together. You show us what Earth food is supposed to taste like. I'm curious. Jake, deal. I'm going to teach you how to make the best damn burger you've ever had. Jake, all right, Zorith. This is how we do it on Earth. It's simple, but it's about timing. You heat up the pan. Zorith tilts his head, studying the pan as though it might explode if touched the wrong way. Zorith, this pan, is for cooking? You heat it up like this, and you can make food. Jake, exactly. You heat it, then you add your ingredients and cook them. It's all about control. I know it's weird, but trust me, it'll make everything taste 1,000,000 times better than that from stuff. Zorith, I'm intrigued. This control you speak of, is it a test of patience? Jake, sort of. Cooking is about timing and patience, but you also need to taste it along the way. You won't get that with raw stuff. Like, you can't just throw meat at the wall and hope it turns into something good. Zorith, that sounds inefficient. Jake laughs at Zorith's bluntness, but the two continue working. After a few more moments of figuring out the alien tech, Zorith finally manages to operate the food synthesizer that Jake had struggled with earlier. Jake, whoa, you actually got it to work. Nice job. Zorith, I learned quickly. We will see if this food is as good as you claim. They share a brief laugh, the tension slowly breaking as they work together. The synthesizer hums and clicks as it produces a steaming pile of something resembling a hamburger patty, though the shape is slightly off and the colors are unusual. Jake remains cautiously hopeful. Zorith, you eat this? Are you certain this is food and not some kind of organic material? Jake, trust me, you're going to want to try it. This is a burger, Zorith. A classic Earth meal. Just go ahead. Zorith hesitates for a moment, then slowly picks up the burger with two of his arms. He takes a small bite, his eyes widening at the unfamiliar flavors. Zorith, this is oddly pleasant. The texture is not as strange as I expected. But the taste, it is rich, complex, different. Jake, yeah, it's got a good umami flavor, right? That's from the seasoning. We use salt and pepper on Earth for that. Zorith, yes, I feel it. I sense a harmony between the flavors. Earth food is not what I imagined. Jake, well, it's not gourmet or anything, but it's something I can actually eat without feeling like I'm going to die. Jake takes a bite of his own burger, relieved to have something familiar in his stomach. For the first time since joining the ship, he starts to feel a little bit of hope. Maybe, just maybe, he won't have to starve or worse on this mission. Sita, we're heading toward the edge of the galaxy. Not many have traveled to these regions, especially with the current tensions between the Union and the independent worlds. If we run into any issues, we need to be prepared. But I trust you're starting to get the hang of things, Jake. Jake, yeah, I think so. But I've got a long way to go. Still trying to figure out the whole galactic diplomacy thing. Not as easy as it sounds, huh? Sita, no, it's definitely not. But that's why we work together. Each of us brings something different to the table, whether it's skills, knowledge, or a decent burger recipe. Jake chuckles at her, grateful for the growing camaraderie between them. Jake. Well, I can't promise I'm going to start a culinary revolution, but I can keep trying to keep us from starving to death. Zorath. I will admit, the human idea of burger is appealing. Perhaps we can have a cooking competition soon, Jake. Jake. A competition? What, like cooking battle? You know what? I'm game. Bring it on, Zorath. You're on. Sita. Careful, Jake. Zorath takes food very seriously. This won't be like any Earth competition. Jake, correct. Yeah, that's me. Can I help you? I'm RKTH. I have heard about your culinary prowess. There's a food exchange meeting tomorrow. Would you care to join? It's a tradition on our ship. You'll be given a chance to prepare a dish of your own choosing. Jake. Wait, you want me to cook for the whole crew? Me? RKTH. Yes. We believe in learning from each other's cultures. It's our way of acknowledging each species' contribution. The crew would be honored to try your Earth food. Jake's heart races. He's never been good at public speaking, let alone cooking in front of a whole crew of aliens. Jake. All right, you've got yourself a deal. I'll do it. Sita. This smells like the food my people used to eat. I never thought I'd get a chance to experience it again. Zorath. Jake is about to make a lot of converts today. Food is the universal language of friendship and survival. The meal is over, and the crew is now mingling and discussing the Earth food Jake prepared. Jake is still standing at the cooking station, wiping his hands on a towel. The air is filled with a mixture of chatter and laughter, but Jake can't help but feel a bit overwhelmed. He hadn't expected his cooking to go over so well. Zorath walks up to him, clapping him on the back with one of his powerful arms. Jake, I have to admit, you've turned a simple piece of meat into something worthy of the gods. I've never seen so many of my crew so pleased with a meal. Thanks, Zorath. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I'm glad everyone liked it. You've made quite an impression. It's rare that we get to experience another species' food in such an authentic way. I think the crew respects you more now. It's not just about the food. It's about sharing something real. Yeah, I think I've found my place here. I wasn't sure how I was going to fit in, but if cooking is the way to do it, I'll take it. Just then, RKTH, the tall alien from earlier, walks over with a respectful bow. I must admit, Jake, I did not believe food could hold such power. But I was wrong. You have shown us that even in the darkest reaches of the galaxy, there are ways to bring people together. The entire crew thanks you. Jake, feeling a bit flustered but honored, smiles in return. Well, I guess it's just what I do. It's kind of how I connect with people. Thanks for giving me the chance to show you guys. Zorath steps forward, holding a strange glowing object in his hands. I have something for you. Gift. A token of our appreciation. Jake looks at the object in Zorath's hands. It's a small, intricate device, shaped like a crystal, but with lights pulsating inside it. What is it? It is a piece of our people's history. An artifact from my world. It holds knowledge, ancient wisdom that can be accessed if one is patient enough. Zorath is right. We may not always understand each other's ways, but this symbolizes the first bridge between your species and ours. Jake takes the artifact in his hands, marveling at its beauty and the weight of the gesture. Thank you. I don't know what to say. This means a lot. There's a pause as the crew watches him, waiting for his next move. The moment is heavy with mutual respect. We're approaching the outer edge of the galactic border. The coordinates we've received point to a colony world that has been experiencing some unusual signals. We're not sure what it is yet, but we need to investigate. Our mission will be to gather intel, assess the situation, and determine whether it poses a threat. Jake listens carefully, knowing that this mission will be crucial not only for the survival of the crew, but also for his future among them. Unusual signals. We might be walking into something even worse than freeze-dried soy paste. Zorath looks over at Jake, hearing his mutterings, and leans in slightly, speaking quietly. Do not let your fear cloud your judgment, Jake. You've proven you can handle much more than this already. You are not alone on this ship. Yeah, you're right. I've made it this far, haven't I? The meeting continues, with Sita detailing the specifics of their route and the precautions they will need to take. Jake's heart races, but there's a new sense of determination in him. He's no longer just a passenger or an outsider. He's part of something bigger, something that may be heading toward danger, but something he now feels ready to face. Shields up. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. We've detected something ahead, unknown energy signature. Jake's breath catches in his throat as he watches the crew spring into action. He instinctively grabs the edge of the table, his heart pounding. What's happening? What is that thing? It's an energy spike. It could be a distress signal, or something far worse. We're in the deep end now, aren't we? Welcome to the galactic unknown, Jake. What is that? This wasn't in the reports. The ship is pulled into a gravitational pull from the structure, and their communication systems flicker. Are we supposed to board that thing? Sita, we have no choice. We need answers. Prepare for boarding. The ship begins its descent toward the alien structure, and Jake feels a cold sense of dread wash over him. But at the same time, a strange sense of excitement builds within him. He's in this for the long haul now. Let's hope I can handle this, because I sure as hell don't want to end up on the menu. In the depths of space, fear is just the beginning. The real challenge is facing the unknown. The airlock opens with a low hiss, and Jake steps out first, his boots echoing in the hollow chamber. The crew follows closely behind him, their footfalls soft but purposeful as they enter the unknown structure. The walls of the ship are slick, dark, and glistening with some sort of organic substance, as though it were alive. Jake takes a deep breath, trying to steady his nerves, but the air feels thick, almost suffocating. His heart pounds against his chest. The ship's sensors are picking up faint energy signatures, but nothing solid. There's a strange stillness in the air. Jake, doesn't feel right. This place, it's not like anything I've ever seen. Zorath, no, it isn't. I don't like this either, but we have no choice. Stay sharp. They walk through a wide metallic corridor, and Jake can't shake the feeling that the walls are closing in on him. His mind flashes back to the old saying, the first step into the unknown is always the hardest. Well, this wasn't just a step. This felt like a leap into an abyss. Sita, keep your eyes open, everyone. This ship may have been abandoned for a reason. Suddenly, the lights flicker above them, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The temperature drops sharply, and Jake shudders, feeling a chill that isn't just from the cold air. Jake, great. Haunted spaceship. Just what I needed. Arcatech. There's no time for jokes, Jake. Focus. They reach the center of the structure, where a massive circular chamber opens up before them. In the center of the room stands a towering obelisk, covered in strange symbols that pulse with an eerie blue light. The air hums with an unnatural energy, and Jake feels the hair on the back of his neck stand up. This thing. What is it? Zorath steps forward, studying the obelisk with a keen eye. The symbols seem to shift as they move closer, forming new patterns, but none of them make sense to him. His hands are hovering near it, but he doesn't touch it just yet. I don't know. But it's a relic, that much is certain. A relic from a time long before any of us were born. Careful, Zorath. We don't know what kind of energy source we're dealing with here. Energy? You mean like an artifact that's still active? Active, yes. Dangerous? We'll find out soon enough. Suddenly, a low rumbling shakes the room. The lights flicker once more, and the obelisk begins to hum louder, as though reacting to their presence. Jake instinctively takes a step back, his mind racing. This was no ordinary alien artifact. It was alive, or at least, powered by something far beyond their understanding. As the humming intensifies, a crackling sound fills the air. A bright blue light shoots up from the obelisk, and the chamber's walls begin to shift, revealing hidden doors that hadn't been visible before. One of these doors opens with a hiss, revealing a narrow passageway that leads deeper into the structure. This is it. This is what we came for. We need to go deeper. Without waiting for objections, she strides forward into the passage. Jake hesitates for a moment, looking back at the crew. They seem just as nervous as he is, but there's no turning back now. They have to see this through. Right. Here we go. The passage is tight, and as they move deeper into the structure, the atmosphere becomes more oppressive. The walls seem to pulse with the same energy that powered the obelisk. The strange symbols from before are now etched into the walls around them, glowing faintly in the dim light. As they move deeper into the heart of the alien ship, they enter a large chamber. This one is different, more like a sanctuary with murals covering the walls, depicting a story that none of them can fully comprehend. It shows alien figures standing tall, surrounded by strange artifacts and symbols. What the hell is this? Who were these people? These aren't just pictures. These are histories. They're stories. As Jake steps closer to the murals, something catches his eye. At the center of one of the paintings, an alien figure with an unmistakable human-like face stands in the midst of a grand battle. The figure is holding something that looks eerily like the same artifact they've just discovered. That's not possible. Is that me? The entire crew looks at the mural, and the realization hits them all at once. This is no ordinary alien structure. This was designed by a species that knew of humans long before their first contact with the Galactic Union. Arcatech. This is impossible. How could they know of humans? Suddenly, the ship lurches, and the lights go out. The room falls into darkness. Jake, did we just trigger something? What's happening? The walls begin to shake, and the humming from the obelisk intensifies. The air fills with static, and a voice, ancient and mechanical, fills the chamber. Interloper, humanity, your time is near. You will bear witness to the end, or you will be consumed by it. The crew stares in shock, the reality of their situation dawning on them. What have they awakened? Sita, we need to get out of here. No. The crew scrambles back through the narrow passage, the structure shaking more violently with each passing moment. They reach the main chamber where the obelisk once stood, but now it's glowing with an intensity they hadn't seen before. It's as though the ship itself is coming alive. Jake, where's the airlock? We need to get back to the ship. But before they can reach the exit, a booming voice echoes through the chamber once more, its words heavy with finality. Escape is futile. Your time has come. The crew is now locked in a race against time, desperate to escape the grip of the ancient alien structure before whatever force has awakened there consumes them all. Jake, I don't care what it takes. We're getting out of here. With that, the crew pushes forward, hearts pounding in their chests. But one thing is clear, this is no longer just a mission. It's a fight for survival. And Jake, no longer the unsure outsider, knows that he will face whatever comes next, alongside his new family in the stars. The unknown has many faces, but humanity's greatest strength is survival. The crew rushes through the corridors, the walls vibrating underfoot with each quake that rocks the structure. Jake can feel the cold sweat drenching his back as the ship seems to pulse with an unnatural rhythm. It's as though the ship itself is aware of their every movement, tracking them like prey. Jake, where's the exit? We're not going to make it if we don't get to the airlock now. Sita, keep moving. The way we came in is blocked off. We need to find another route. Suddenly, the lights above flicker out entirely, plunging them into complete darkness. Panic rises in Jake's chest, but he forces himself to remain calm. He can hear the echoing sound of footsteps, their footsteps, but something else is in the distance. A low, mechanical hum, growing louder, like the ship itself is waking up. Zorath, did you hear that? Arcatech, something's following us. We need to move faster. Jake's breath catches in his throat. He's never been this terrified in his life, but there's no time to second-guess. The sound of metal grinding against metal grows closer, and Jake can almost feel the cold breath of whatever it is on his neck. They turn a corner, and suddenly, the narrow hallway opens into a wide chamber. The crew halts, eyes scanning the room. The floor is covered in a thick, viscous liquid that seems to glimmer in the dim light, as though the room itself is alive with a strange energy. Jake, what is this place? It wasn't here before. The liquid moves of its own accord, swirling and shifting in patterns that seem to form shapes, faces. Alien figures appear to materialize within it, and the crew stares in stunned silence as the figures grow clearer. Sita, these are the ones from the murals. The ones who built this ship. The liquid begins to boil with energy, and then the faces of the alien beings stretch, distorting into monstrous shapes. The creatures in the liquid are no longer peaceful figures but twisted, corrupted by whatever forces have taken hold of this place. From the liquid emerges a massive alien creature, a towering, grotesque figure that appears to be composed of a blend of organic material and technology. It has multiple eyes, each glowing an ominous green. It takes one step forward, its enormous limbs dragging across the floor, and the room shudders. Jake, what the hell is that? Zorath, that is what this ship was meant for. A weapon. An abomination. The alien creature's massive form begins to move toward them. Its steps slow, but deliberate. It's not in a hurry. It's not chasing them. No, it's hunting them. Its eyes lock onto Jake, and he feels a cold chill run down his spine, as though it's looking straight through him. Jake, we need to fight back. Sita, not yet. We need to get to the exit. That thing's too powerful. We don't have the firepower to take it down. Jake, I'm not running anymore. We're gonna make it out of here. He pulls out his sidearm, his hand shaking, but the weight of the weapon is reassuring. Zorth stops him with a sharp gesture. Zorth, hold your fire. We need to disable it, not engage. There's a power node somewhere in this room that controls it. If we destroy it, we destroy the creature. Arcatech. Then let's find that node. Fast. The crew spreads out, moving quickly through the room, eyes scanning for any sign of the power node. Jake's heart is in his throat, every footstep echoing in the stillness as he moves toward a wall of strange, glowing panels. They look almost like a control system, but before he can examine them further, the alien creature's voice booms through the chamber, low and guttural. Alien creature. Interlopers, your actions are futile. You will fail, as your kind always does. The end is nigh. Jake's pulse races as he spots a faint flicker of light, a small, concealed panel high up on the wall, near the ceiling. The power node. His stomach churns as he realizes what he has to do next. Jake, up there. I think I found it. The alien creature begins to lurch toward him, its limbs stretching unnaturally long. Jake's eyes lock onto the glowing panel. He doesn't know if he can reach it in time, but he doesn't have a choice. He begins to scramble up a nearby wall, using any surface he can to pull himself up, heart pounding in his chest. Just as Jake reaches for the panel, the alien creature lunges, but Zorth is already there, charging toward it with his weapon drawn. The air crackles as the energy from Zorth's weapon hits the creature, sending it staggering back. The creature roars, its multiple eyes glowing with fury. Zorth, do it now. With a final desperate push, Jake slams his hand against the panel, and the ship reacts. Sparks fly from the walls as the power node overloads, sending a wave of energy through the entire room. The creature howls in pain as its form flickers, glitches, and then collapses into a heap of lifeless, charred remnants. The room falls silent, and the crew is left panting, their bodies still trembling from the adrenaline rush. Jake slides down the wall, landing on his feet with a heavy thud. Jake, did we win? Sita, we survived. That's all that matters. The crew takes a moment to catch their breath, but they know their work isn't done yet. There's still much more to uncover, and many questions remain unanswered. The ship begins to shake again, but this time it's different, softer, more rhythmic. The eerie hum fades, and the walls seem to stop pulsating. A low voice echoes from somewhere deep within the ship, distant but clear. Interlopers, you have done well. But this is not the end. It is only the beginning. The crew exchanges uneasy glances. Jake can feel the weight of the words in his chest. Whatever this ship was meant to do, it isn't over. And now they're part of something far greater than they could have ever imagined. The unknown never truly sleeps. Its secrets are waiting, just beyond the stars. The crew stands in the aftermath of the creature's destruction, still shaken, but the atmosphere has shifted. The ship is no longer the same. The hum has subsided, but there's a strange, pulsing energy that fills the air. The walls themselves seem to have softened, no longer as cold and unyielding as they once were. There's an undeniable presence in the ship now, like something is waking up, something alive. Jake, did you feel that? The walls, they're moving. Sita, no, it's not that. The ship, it's reacting to us, to what we did. Arcatech, we're not alone anymore. There's something here, something far older than us. The crew exchanges nervous glances. They've all sensed it, the subtle vibrations in the air, the shifting of the ship's structures beneath their feet. It's as if the vessel itself is alive now, aware of their presence, responding to their actions. Jake feels a cold shiver crawl up his spine. Zorth, we need answers. Whatever we've woken up, it's not just a machine. It's something more. As they move through the now altered corridors, the strange door opens in front of them, one that was previously hidden, concealed by the ship's strange organic design. It slides open with a soft hiss, revealing a dimly lit chamber beyond. The room is vast, its ceiling stretching high above them. The air is thick with a strange metallic scent, and in the center of the room lies an enormous pedestal. Jake, what is this place? This wasn't in any of the schematics. Sita, I don't know. But it feels wrong. Like we shouldn't be here. On the pedestal sits an object, an alien artifact. It glows faintly, its surface shifting and pulsating like it has a heartbeat of its own. The moment they enter the room, the artifact's glow intensifies, and the ship seems to react, humming with energy. Jake, is that the source of all this? What the hell is it? Zorath, that is what we've been searching for. What the Union has been hunting. Jake takes a hesitant step forward, his hand instinctively reaching out toward the artifact. He doesn't know why, but something pulls him to it. It's like the ship itself is guiding him, urging him to touch it. Jake, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to touch it. Sita, don't. We don't know what it does. It could be dangerous. Jake, I can't explain it, but I feel like I'm supposed to. He pulls his arm away from Sita and steps forward, his fingers brushing against the cool surface of the artifact. The moment he touches it, the entire room seems to shift. A blinding flash of light envelopes him, and the air becomes thick, almost suffocating. His vision goes white, and he hears a voice, deep, ancient, and full of power. Chosen One, you have awoken us. Jake's vision clears, and he finds himself standing in a different space altogether. The room is gone, replaced by a vast expanse of stars, an infinite galaxy swirling around him. The air is heavy, charged with energy. In front of him stand a massive being, a figure that is both alien and familiar, a fusion of organic and mechanical parts, its eyes glowing with a strange ancient wisdom. Jake, what is this? Where am I? The being. You stand in the heart of the vessel of the ancients, a ship created long before the rise of your kind. We are the first ones, builders of worlds, destroyers of empires. And now, you are part of us. Jake, first ones. What do you mean? Why me? Why is this happening? You are the one who has awakened us, the one who has touched the artifact. The vessel has chosen you, Jake of Earth. You are now the inheritor of our legacy. Jake feels a rush of information flood his mind. Images of alien worlds, ancient technologies, and catastrophic wars. He sees civilizations rise and fall, all connected to the ship he's on now. It's a weapon, yes, but also something far more, something that can reshape the entire galaxy. And somehow, Jake is at the center of it all. Jake's body trembles as the flood of knowledge overwhelms him. His mind is alive with images, emotions, and sounds of distant worlds. He gasps for air, trying to anchor himself to reality. Jake, I can't handle this. This is too much. You have not yet begun to understand the power you now hold. This ship, this vessel, was created to guide the galaxy to its true potential. But it can only do so with the right leader. But I'm just a guy. I'm not some leader. The being. You are more than you realize. Your species, your kind, has always been capable of greatness. You were born to lead, Jake of Earth, to bring balance to the galaxy. Jake feels a heavy weight settle on his shoulders, the weight of destiny, of an immense responsibility that he never asked for but now cannot escape. The being steps forward, its form becoming clearer, more solid. The being. We are with you, Jake. We will guide you. But the path ahead is fraught with peril. There are those who will seek to take the vessel from you. Those who would see the galaxy plunged into darkness. Jake, I don't know if I can do this. I don't even know where to begin. The being. You are not alone. The vessel will protect you. It will lead you to those who can help you. You must trust yourself, Jake. You were chosen for a reason. Jake blinks, and suddenly he's back in the chamber, the artifact still glowing in front of him. His head is spinning, the weight of what he's learned pressing down on him. The crew is still there, looking at him with wide eyes. Sita, Jake, what happened? You just disappeared for a moment. What did you see? Jake, I saw everything. The galaxy, the vessel, the first ones, and they chose me. The crew stands in stunned silence as Jake takes a deep breath, trying to collect himself. The reality of his situation is slowly sinking in. He's not just a passenger on this ship anymore. He's its leader. The future of the galaxy rests on his shoulders. The universe is vast. The choices are endless. But in the end, every star must fall and rise again. The ship hums softly around Jake as he stands in the center of the room, still processing everything that's just happened. His mind races with the implications of what he's seen: alien technology, the galaxy's ancient history, the power of the vessel now at his command. But despite the vastness of this knowledge, something gnaws at him, a feeling of being hunted, watched. Jake, they're out there, aren't they? Those who want this power for themselves. He turns around to face the crew, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and concern. He's not the same person he was when they boarded this ship. Something in him has changed, a new weight he's not sure he can bear. Sita, Jake, what's going on? You've been distant. What happened back there with the artifact? Jake takes a deep breath, trying to steady his thoughts. His crew looks at him like he's a stranger, and maybe he is. The weight of this new reality is overwhelming, and he's unsure how to tell them the truth, how to explain that the future of the galaxy is now in his hands. Jake, it's not just the ship or the artifact. Everything. The first ones, the vessel, they've chosen me to lead. I'm supposed to guide the galaxy now. But there's something else. Something coming for us. Arcatech. Coming for us? What do you mean, human? Who is coming? Jake, the galaxy's not ready for this. The vessel, it's a weapon. It was meant to shape the universe, but it's also a target. There are others, forces, factions, who will stop at nothing to take it from us. Arcatech steps forward, his posture shifting from tense to aggressive. Jake can feel the alien's anger simmering just beneath the surface. Arcatech, then we'll fight. We'll destroy them before they even get close. I've fought wars before. I know how to kill. Jake takes a step back, holding up his hands in an effort to calm the situation. He doesn't want to fight. Not yet. Not until he understands what they're up against. Jake, it won't be that simple. This isn't just some random band of raiders. These forces are ancient, older than the Union. The first one spoke of a shadow that would rise to claim the vessel. I think we've already attracted its attention. The crew exchanges uneasy glances. The gravity of Jake's words starts to sink in. Something ancient, something powerful is coming for them. Hours later, Jake stands in the command room, staring at the holographic displays of the ship's external sensors. His eyes flicker nervously between the readouts as strange anomalies begin to appear. A flicker in the dark void of space, a ripple in the fabric of reality itself. Something is out there. Jake, there it is. That's what I saw before. A ripple. Like something watching us. Sita, that's not normal. It's not just a ship either. Like it's moving through the very fabric of space. Jake, it's not a ship. Whatever it is, it's not bound by normal laws of physics. It's like it's folding reality around itself. Suddenly, the ship shakes. A deep, resonating thrum echoes through the halls, and the lights flicker. The crew tenses, knowing something is wrong. Arcatech, they've found us. Jake's eyes widen. The ship's internal alarms start blaring, and the crew rushes to their stations. The sound of something massive moving through the void fills the air, an unnatural sound, like a great beast stalking them. Jake feels it in his bones. They're not alone anymore. As the ship shakes violently, a dark shape appears on the horizon of their sensors. It's enormous, twisting through the stars like a living entity, its surface shifting and rippling in ways that defy comprehension. Jake feels a cold sweat running down his back as the shape draws closer. Jake, what is that? Sita, I don't know. It's not anything in the Union's database. Whatever it is, it's beyond us. Zorath, we need to fight back. We can't let it get any closer. Jake feels his heart pounding in his chest as the shadow looms closer. His mind races, trying to remember everything he's learned about the vessel, about the first ones, but nothing prepares him for this. He's standing on the precipice of a war unlike anything humanity has ever faced. Jake, we don't know what we're up against. We need to get to the weapons bay. Before Jake can finish, the ship trembles violently again, and the entire vessel lurches to one side. The lights flicker and go out, plunging them into darkness. In the eerie silence that follows, Jake hears a voice in his mind. Your time has come, human. You have awakened the shadow. Now you must face it. Jake's blood runs cold as the voice resonates through his skull. The dark shape outside the ship shifts again, moving closer, faster than any ship should be able to. It is here. With the power systems failing, the crew rushes to their stations, preparing for the inevitable. Jake feels like he's drowning in the weight of everything that's happening. He was just a man trying to survive. Now he's the leader of a crew on the edge of annihilation, standing between the galaxy's fate and an ancient enemy that wants nothing more than to destroy everything. Jake, we have to survive. We have to fight back. The vessel will protect us, but we have to unlock its true power. It's our only hope. The crew stands together, the last line of defense against the unknown. As the dark shape outside draws closer, Jake realizes something. It's not just a battle for survival. It's a battle for the soul of the galaxy itself. The darkness is rising, and only those who can wield the power of the first ones can hope to stop it. With the shadow closing in, the crew is now facing their greatest test yet. They need to unlock the secrets of the vessel and find a way to fight back before it's too late. Jake must come to terms with his newfound power and leadership role while trying to protect his crew. The stakes are higher than ever, and the mystery of the first ones, and the enemy that threatens to tear everything apart, continues to unfold. The ship's halls buzz with activity, but there's a tense undercurrent of fear and uncertainty. Crew members move quickly to their stations, their faces grim, eyes flickering between their duties and the looming threat. Jake stands in the command center, trying to focus, but the weight of it all threatens to crush him. Jake, how much time do we have, Sita? Sita, not much. Whatever it is, it's moving faster than we can calculate. We're being pulled toward it, like it's drawing us in. Zorath, we'll fight. We have to fight. We're not just going to let it tear us apart. Jake shoots a quick glance at the alien, seeing the raw anger in his eyes. Zorath is a soldier born to fight, but this is different. This isn't just a skirmish. This is something far worse. Jake, we can't fight it. Not yet. We don't even know what it is. We need to figure out how to use the vessel's power first, or we're just sitting ducks. Sita, true, but how do we activate it? The systems are locked down, and none of us have access to the controls. You're the only one who's connected with it, Jake. Jake's mind races. He can feel the power of the vessel inside him, pulsing, waiting. But what does it want from him? And what can he even do with it? He has no manual, no guide. Just the cryptic words of the first ones and his instinct. Jake, the first one said the vessel would help us, but they didn't say how. They only said, we must understand it. He turns toward the holographic display of the ship's interior, tracing the lines of power conduits and ancient symbols embedded deep within the vessel's systems. His fingers brush over the glowing interfaces, and for a moment, a strange connection hums between him and the ship, like the vessel is listening. Jake, there's something in the central core. I can feel it. I think it's tied to the ship's energy systems. If we can get there, we might be able to tap into the power we need to fight back. Sita, that's risky. The core is heavily secured. Only authorized personnel can access it. And even then, we don't know what kind of defenses it has. Jake, we don't have a choice. We're going to have to break through whatever defenses are there. It's the only shot we've got. The crew stands in silence for a moment, the weight of Jake's words hanging in the air. The threat outside is closing in, and there's no time to waste. Slowly, one by one, the crew members nod, understanding the gravity of the situation. The corridors grow colder as Jake and his crew move deeper into the ship, their footsteps echoing through the dark, metallic halls. The flickering lights cast strange shadows along the walls, and every corner feels like it's hiding something. The ship itself seemed alive, its pulse steady and relentless. As they approach the core, Jake can feel the power building, a force that both thrills and terrifies him. Jake, this is it. Stay sharp. Zorath leads the way, his claws clicking against the floor as he scans the area for any signs of danger. Jake follows closely, his mind racing with the knowledge he's gathered about the vessel and the first ones. He's not sure what he's looking for, but he knows he has to reach the core before the shadow closes in. They reach the central chamber, a massive spherical room that hums with energy. At the center, a swirling vortex of light pulses, its intensity overwhelming. The walls are covered in ancient symbols that Jake can barely comprehend. He steps forward, the air growing thick with the ship's power. The vessel is alive, and it's waiting for him. Jake, what is this place? What do you want from me? Suddenly, the vessel responds. There's a sudden sharp hum in the air, and a holographic image appears before him. It's the face of an alien being, one of the first ones. Its eyes glow with ancient wisdom, its expression serene but filled with a deep, unspoken sadness. You are the chosen one. The vessel has bound itself to you. But power comes with great responsibility. You must understand the truth of the shadow before you can wield this power. Jake, tell me what to do. How do I stop it? The image flickers, then shifts. The voice grows darker, more urgent. The shadow is not just an enemy. It is a force of entropy, a harbinger of decay. It will consume all things unless you stop it. But be warned, human. The path to stopping it is fraught with great sacrifice. You must choose between saving the galaxy and saving yourself. Jake, I don't care about myself. I just want to save everyone. The hologram flickers one last time, and the voice of the first one fades. Then you must become something greater than yourself. You must embrace the vessel's power, but beware its cost. The image fades completely, leaving Jake standing alone in the chamber. The weight of the first one's words settles over him like a storm cloud. He knows what he must do. But the question is, can he live with the consequences? The crew is gathered outside the core chamber, awaiting Jake's return. They can feel the tension in the air, the sense that the very fabric of the universe is bending under the weight of what they're about to face. Jake walks out, his face pale but determined. His eyes are different now, harder, focused on the task ahead. Jake, we have to move quickly. The shadow is closing in faster than we thought. I know what we need to do, but we'll have to work together to pull it off. Sita, what did you learn in there? What's the plan? Jake, we use the vessel's power. But it's not a simple weapon. It's a force of creation and destruction. To defeat the shadow, we'll need to channel all of its energy, but at a cost. Zorath, we don't have time for speeches, human. We need to act. Jake, right. Let's move. And stay close. Once we engage the vessel's full power, there's no going back. As the crew prepares for the final confrontation, they know the stakes. The fate of the galaxy is in their hands, and the shadow is already at their doorstep. The power to destroy the shadow is within their reach. But at what cost? This scene sets the stage for the ultimate showdown as Jake embraces his role as the vessel's chosen leader, while the crew faces the grave reality that they may not all survive the coming battle. Jake's transformation is nearly complete, but now he must decide what kind of leader he wants to be, and whether he can shoulder the consequences of wielding such power.